in the tech industry, obviously, we've had a lot of layoffs and there's hiring too, especially with AI. What are you seeing in terms of the changes in demand for labor from high tech employers? What sort of shifts are you seeing in terms of what employers are looking for from tech?
I think there's a few things. I mean, first and foremost, there is a very big shift right now because there was so much of a demand from COVID in the past 3 years of hiring that I think what we've been seeing a lot of is a lot of the layoffs are really due to restructuring and repositioning the focus of the organization. So perhaps they overhired in this department and they needed to shed some there, or perhaps they developed too many products and they didn't need as many. And they're really focusing on where the demand is. Now AI is being introduced into the market. Now, how do they anticipate and get ready for those needs? So I think number one, there's a lot of shifts going on, and the layoffs were a result of the overhiring, overinvesting, easy access to capital in the COVID days. And now it's about restructuring and refocusing the investments that are going to move the companies forward. So that's number one. Number two is so much has shifted with where people are looking for talent. So much of that overinvesting, we're 100% remote workers. We're definitely still seeing a very large demand. About like 75% of our business is still primarily remote. However, hybrid is becoming more and more of a requirement. It's definitely shifting the demand of where the talent sits because people do want them to ideally at least be able to come in. And then the third thing is what we have been seeing is the biggest shift is what they're actually looking for in an employee. And we are finding there's such an alignment now of values-based hiring and the soft skills of what is important in a hire versus the technical abilities. And, 9 out of 10 times you'll have a really technical person and they're great for the job, but they don't have the it factor. They don't have the excellent communication, collaboration, written communication skills, being digitally remote. You have to be an effective communicator remotely. So there's just all these new sets of skills that have come out of COVID that have been found to be extremely powerful that we're finding employers are shifting to even more so than the technical abilities.
When I went through the layoffs FYI website, tracks tech layoffs. You can see the kinds of jobs that are being eliminated. A lot of them are software developers and coders. And so I'm just wondering if, what you need in addition to obviously the basic skills to be really marketable. And I imagine you're getting queries from lots of these workers wondering, what should they do, right?
Yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, so again, what's interesting is, again, this is just a theory, and what I've seen from the volume in which we staff is development and product, like product engineers, product managers, product designers. Those were the two heaviest skills over investing since 2020. Everyone was developing product, and you need developers to develop it. And whether it was web product, there were so many products that were developed, and that was a really big overinvestment in the past few years. So a lot of jobs were created. So the layoffs, with that being one of the top, not surprised because it was one of the most overinvested. But at the same time, if you look at all the jobs created, they're now just finding new developers with better skills. It's almost like a lot of these companies are upgrading and finding, like going back to the restructuring aspect of where do we put the best of the best and who has the latest and greatest technologies that are going to advance us forward, that are more in line with where AI is going, et cetera. So, but that's one piece. The second piece is the biggest thing that employers are looking for it's the soft skills. It's the ability to effectively work in a team. Being a heads down developer, when there's a plethora of funds and there's a lot of product pipeline being developed, you need a lot of those really great heads down coders. Those were very valuable in the past several years. But now they want engineers and developers to make more impact. They want them to be able to have more innovation, more thought process on how to articulate, how to design and how to develop code as to what's going to make the product better. There's a lot of that, and just a lot more customer service of communication skills with business analysts, project managers, the business executives that are looking to develop these products and develop different aspects that are going to need this talent. So that's just been so key on finding good teammates and good collaborators that are able to have those skills as well.
So if we were to look at job postings or descriptions of what employers are looking for, what kind of language or terms are you seeing that's more required now, and how is that shifting?
It all depends on the organization, but a lot of these companies are looking for anything related to the cloud, AWS, Azure, like anything that has cloud-based technologies is going to be like, a lot of it was like application-based and web-based, but now it's like cloud-based, and being able to have that enterprise level experience is really important. Because look, a web developer that's working for a really small company that's doing development for a website is very different than a software engineer developing code for a cloud-based infrastructure application that's going to need security levels and all of that. There's been so much advancement so quick that we're finding the more and more engineers and developers that have cloud-based experience and ability to work with those teams are getting to be more and more attractive and more of a demand.